what the hell? Next episode, uh, AI apocalypse.
Not really AI apocalypse, just
It's AI apocalypse.
It's AI do or don't, I would
Yeah.
say. Even though I think it's going to be an apocalypse, but it's an AI do or don't.
Yeah, well, a lot of people are. Well, we had that whole thing back back in the '80s when they started doing robots and everything, and they ended up saying it was like, "Oh, robots are going to take our jobs and everything," which
they took the crappy jobs. Really? I mean,
yeah, they did take a lot of the crappy jobs. Even now with Amazon using more robots in their facilities, one robots don't tire down. They break down.
Yeah.
And they do tire down, but a lot less than human counterparts.
You don't have to give them a day off until they break down.
Yeah.
And that just that along with, I mean, it's interesting you bring that up in comparison and junction with AI is because even though I do think it's going to become apocalyptic because we have
I still like that idea of it's not going to be like the robots in a facility or the military style robots. It's going to be the sex robots that overtakes us because they're going to be so good at keeping us compliant and everything that we don't want to reproduce and everything, and then we just die out. Like what was that one movie to where they basically, it was on Netflix. It was about a robot that was taking care of this little girl, and then it grew up and it had to take care of another baby.
Oh, I Am Mother?
I Am Mother, yeah.
Yeah. Did it take care of another baby in that movie?
Yeah.
I remember it raised that girl.
And the adult tried to break out the
kid.
The kid.
Yeah.
And it was basically cloning.
Yeah.
So
I didn't catch that part of the movie.
I
guess I was really tired. I need to go back and watch that movie.
Yeah, it was actually really good.
I mean, I thought it was a decent movie, but it sounds better than I remember.
Yeah.
Damn, Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I know, right?
But anyway, speaking of that, and what you were saying about the robots taking over jobs and everything else, that just allowed people to do more technical jobs. Yeah, I mean, you have your welding robot that can sit there on the car factory line and sit there and weld that one little spot that one human had to do over and over again, more efficiently or whatever. But, I could see if that welder didn't, learn how to, I guess, correct the robot, because I imagine they have to do calibrations on it every once in a while.
Well, I had what you call it, wire stripper machine, and I had to constantly calibrate it.
Yeah,
because it would just, the rubber off of the wire would get onto the spool, the motorized thing that gets the wires through.
Yeah,
and I was the only one that knew how to work it, and when it was hard for me to take a vacation.
Yeah.
Because anytime I would take a vacation, they were like, "Oh yeah, we got it. We got someone that knows how to do it." And as soon as I show back up, it's totally ruined.
Yeah.
They didn't get anything right, and I was like, "This is the reason why I can't take days off."
Yeah. But then if you do have an AI robot that's taking over your job, you're not gonna have to calibrate it no more because it'll calibrate itself. If it's true AI.
Yeah, if it's true AI, it eventually corrects itself, but we're nowhere near that.
Yeah,
we're still at the learning phase.
We're at the...
we're teaching the machines how to work.
As we were growing up, we just called it AI, and that was, artificial intelligence, and it was super intelligent and blah, 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 but we've hit a point to where we actually hit AI, and now they're calling it, there's 3 stages to it now. There's AI, AGI, and then AS.
What's AGI and what's AS?
The G stands for general, which is basically a AI that supposedly has human-like intelligence, but it would be more specialized.
You mean like the Sophia robot?
No, better than that. That's not even general. That's like your freaking Siri, which we could talk about the creepiness of that in a second. But but to finish the definitions of them, as far as I understand them, I mean, I'm completely wrong probably, but It's a general intelligence. It's at human level. We haven't hit that yet, but it only does one task.
Yeah.
Whatever task we set it to.
Like, if it's just to the point, like my old job had a couple of robots, and what they did was they just took the wax cells for the airplane parts. They dipped them into the sand to make it to have a casing for it.
Mm-hmm.
So when they poured the metal in, it would just leak out.
I think that's good.
But they had they had like 2 robots. They actually have 4 of those robots, but because of the layoffs and everything, they shut that part of the plant down. But they ended up once it's up and going, they have 4 robots, but it still takes a lot of time just to do it.
Yeah. Well,
and they still
that's not even general AI though, because we actually haven't hit that perfectly yet. No. It's basically you teach it to do a task, and it learns from its mistakes, and it's like having a human, and you teach that human
like with the self-driving cars.
Yeah,
they're starting with that, and
that's still not even done.
No,
it's like as far as I know, Elon Musk is like the most intelligent person in the world. He's like, yeah, we're gonna have these self-driving cars, and if you want to buy the package now and get in on it, it'll be cheaper. Spend this $3,000 for the self-driving.
Well, he actually started making them self-driving, because what it is they basically end up a couple of times. I think it's happened twice already with a couple of Teslas, and they have it set up to where you just press the autopilot and it drives itself. Well, people were going to sleep.
Yeah, and
basically they go to sleep, and they've had cops trying to pull these people over for like 30 minutes, and it's only supposed to be if they fall asleep, their hands not on the wheel after about 15 seconds or a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
it might be a little bit more than that, and after a while it stops. It pulls over, finds a safe zone, and just goes off.
Yeah,
and the AIs are breaking to the point where they can't pull them over.
Yeah. Well, even the self-driving function and everything is supposed to be limited to highways right now, I believe.
Yeah.
If the video if I watched, if they've changed it since then, I'm sorry for any misinformation.
Misinformation. There we go. We made it.
Can you say distribution? No.
No.
Dave's like, screw yourself. We get tongue-tied sometimes. But anyway, at some point they're supposed to be able to just drive, period.
Yeah.
Like on
they're testing
residential streets and everything.
They're testing that stuff out on semi-trucks, because there's a 65% decrease in drivers for semis. And what it is the truck they actually have the an actual physical driver right now, because they're just test driving it. And I was watching it on YouTube. They have on YouTube Original, and they have the driver and everything, and because the camera crew driving forward and back, taking film of this vehicle, the truck just couldn't figure out what was going on. It kept on one. It was supposed to take an exit, and every time the camera crew goes in front of it, because of the arms and everything, it was messing up the sensors and everything. Basically, it couldn't figure out to take the exit, and it missed like 3 exits.
It's kind of creepy. It's the last thing I want driving around.
Well, it was being overcautious.
Yeah. But still, it kind of scares me, because even being overcautious, they can mess up. Yeah. Or it becomes self-aware, and it'd be like that one old-ass movie about the vehicles driving themselves around and killing people. What was that?
Cars.
Was it Cars?
Yeah.
No, that's
yeah, it was.
I'm not talking about the Disney movie. I'm talking about the horror movie.
Oh,
what was that?
It was one with the
Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why I remembered that movie was because they had the Hobgoblin.
Yeah.
No, not the Hobgoblin. Green Goblin from Spider-Man on the lead vehicle.
And then they had that military vehicle, and then started shooting the machine gun. I'm like, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
it's movie magic at that point.
It's 80s music. But and then you have what they called ASI, where it's like superior intelligence or super intelligence or whatever.
That's a scary part.
That's the scary part, because
where if they don't have the three laws of robotics.
Well, that's
it's science fiction, but it's
it's science fiction. I mean, that's a way to approach it, you know.
Yeah.
But once, even in my theory, in my opinion, if you sit there and even put those 3 laws, it'll interpret it the way it wants to, because they have this one AI that they had this simple program where it was supposed to get to point A to point B, and it was supposed to teach itself to walk, and it gave it parameters of how to walk, and they wanted to see how it figured out how to do it, and it failed epically for the longest time. It could not figure out how to walk, so it eventually made a leg that went all the way to freaking point B, and just kind of point B.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, that was the same thing with a study they did with a robot for the programming. It was supposed to herd these cattle. It was basically a cowboy robot, and it was herding these cattle. Well, it was herding the cattle to slaughter.
Yeah.
Well, they had it do it several times, and on the last try, they introduced a gun to see if it would work out a little bit, and all it did was just killed all the cattle, and basically bulldozed all the cattle into the slaughterhouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that does. And it just did the job a lot faster. It figured if it had a gun in it, it would go a lot faster.
Straight violence.
Yeah, straight violence. Another thing was the whole Elon Musk thing with the integrating the biological with the mechanical
to give it basically that control that we would want. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what that would do, right?
Yeah, I know.
We are the Borg. Oh God. But
well, that's actually kind of interesting, because you can have it to the point where you're basically a remote control for these robots.
Yeah.
Or for technology in general.
And then we were discussing apocalypse, and instead of having our sex robots, we would become sex robots. It'd be like, stroke that Z key, stroke that Z key.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would just be horrible.
It would just be weird. Yeah, hit that space bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Control Alt Delete. Oh, yeah. Control Alt Delete.
That would be totally messed up. Yeah. But the basic fact on a lot of the stuff, like they have AIs growing vegetables and fruits and stuff. And right now, the most exported?
Yeah, talk about to send to other places.
Yeah.
Exported.
Exported is out of the Netherlands.
Oh, really?
Because they have like 3 football fields of hydroponics. And they grow them going down. And they have robots planting them, picking the fruit or vegetables and stuff like that. Yeah, it's. Well, I saw that when I went to Walt Disney World. They were using hydroponics. They were doing it reverse like that, like in the early 90s, maybe late 80s.
Yeah.
They already had that set up. But we just scratched the surface on hydroponics, though.
Yeah.
We're really going. I mean, we've seen future movies that are describing the future and using hydroponics and like that, and you're trying to use the hydroponics for stuff like trip to Mars. Yeah. And another thing on there is
they should get hold of some weed farmers. They've been doing hydro for a while now.
I know, right? Of course. Well, yeah. You.
It is hydroponic weeds.
Yeah,
I mean, they've been doing it for a decade at least.
Yeah, hiding it. Well,
3 or 4, I don't know.
Well, that's between sometimes the degree of illegal to something that's more profitable. A lot of people don't understand that sometimes thinking of having to do something that you're doing as a lazy aspect
Mm-hmm.
turns into something that's really big,
Yeah.
like the invention of the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, someone wanted to pull lots of
And that
rocks.
almost caused the wheel apocalypse back in ancient times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the wheel apocalypse.
Yeah.
I read it. I read that in the history. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about?
Well, talking about it every time there's a new technology.
There's an apocalypse. Yeah. It's like that wheel's going to cause all kinds of trouble.
And there was going to be the bow apocalypse, and then there was the.
Well, it kind of did turn into that because there's lots of wars, but even iron. Bronze was bronze the first metal, or was
bronze was the first, I think, that they used as armor and weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was the first hard metal that they could produce, and that was mixing what is that, brass and tin, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or something. I can't remember. Brass and something. Brass. I think brass and tin.
Yeah.
Or no, that's brass
copper,
and tin.
Copper and tin.
Yeah, brass is another mixture alloy in it. It's an alloy. It's not a metal.
Yeah.
And then technically, they came up with iron later, but that was because up north in England and stuff, peat moss and everything, they were finding iron deposits in the peat moss, and realized, wait, we can melt this down and make weapons out of it.
Yeah.
That's what made the Vikings so badass. But let's get back to AI.
Yeah, we're going for apocalypse technology, but no, what they're trying to do right now is they're giving grants and everything to make structures by using robots, basically using AI programming. They're having the robots go there. The first flaw I've seen in that, though, was I guess they're just setting it up right now to build a structure, and then they're going to get it to where it's going to be mobile. Hopefully they get it to mobile, because the first thing I thought of was like, okay, you're getting these things onto the planet, you're getting the mixture, you're getting the concrete to build it and everything from that location, but you are going to make only one robot's doing one structure, and that's it.
Yeah, I imagine they'd probably send multiple. Surely they would.
No, they're going to send multiples, but just thinking about that, it's like, how's that going to work if they're not going to be mobile? They set it down, and then another thing they're having troubles with is the soil itself.
Yeah, it's plastic as hell.
Yeah, well, it's more acidic than our.
Yeah.
To the point where it's destroying the equipment.
Yeah, the reason it's red is the planet's red is because all the ionization in the soil, and that breaks stuff down. We have rust. Basically, the entire planet's covered in rust. Essentially, I mean that's very layman's terms. I
what
imagine.
If the first thing, instead of just building structures, is they build an ozone? I mean, technically, it has an ozone, but if you can beef it up a little bit.
You could beef it up with actually pollution and stuff. And they've actually discussed setting off nukes on the poles to speed up the process, to kind of give it a greenhouse effect.
Yeah.
But even then, that would take decades.
Really?
I mean, to terraform a planet would take forever, at least with modern technology. I mean, Star Trek did it in moments, but with the Genesis project.
Yeah.
Nerdy time.
Nerdy time.
But even with all that, anyway, back to the ASI, once you have, even if you have the 3 basic laws, if you want to get that basic, or any of that, once it hits that point of human intelligence and it continues to improve itself, writing its own code, becoming more intelligent, it's going to overwrite those. It's just basic, because
well, there's another consciousness on that, because they actually had they were trying to put a robot brothel in Houston, and the reason why they couldn't do it is because the robots didn't give consent. We're at that stage to where our society is very cautious on everybody wants to do the right thing for inanimate objects that we built. I was like, why are you trying to make that robot a slave? That's where it's going to come to. We're going to have basically some kind of deal going out. It's like, oh, these robots should have rights too. We built the robots.
Well,
what do you consider? Okay. What do you consider consciousness after that?
Well, once it becomes sentient and self-aware, if it's self-aware,
even then, okay, even if it's self-aware and everything, it's still not biological. So it's still a tool.
We're a tool.
We're
just you know.
But that's what these people are actually thinking when it comes down.
Now, I mean, when it comes to a basic robot like you're talking about at your factory and stuff, that has no rights. It doesn't know what it's doing. It's just doing what it's programmed to do. But once you have something that rewrites itself.
But what about that person that identifies as a person that loves that robot, and they marry that robot? There's a woman that married a bridge.
That's just retardation. It's just like I don't make me get into modern culture because I'm going to say things people might not like.
That's what the show is for.
Yeah, I know.
But it comes to what do you do in that kind of situation when someone wants equal rights to our tools? I mean, technically, we're still trying to
find the alley and shoot them.
What we also have that same thing that we're dealing with right now is people are trying to take away our tools as gun rights and everything like that. Well, not now. They're moving away because of the pandemic and all cops are bad and demilitarization and everything. But other than that,
I don't think that was me.
I swear I thought I turned it off. No, I turned them off.
I'll be able to say so. Just saying goodbye. I'm turning it off. You're gonna have to edit this part out anyway.
Yeah, it's no big deal. But we come to that point where we have to. Are we gonna have to plan ahead for the sentient and say, hey, because they're robots, they don't have any rights?
Well, I mean, we're creating AI every day right now.
Or like that one movie,
like our little babies and shit.
There's so many good movies, like that one movie to where the whole planet were robots.
Oh, Extinction.
Yeah, and
they didn't realize
they were robots. Yeah. And the humans were technically the aliens.
Yeah, and they deserve to be destroyed because technically they attacked their masters.
Like Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah. Or Terminators.
Terminators, yeah.
But see, that's the point, though. I mean, if we hit a point where we actually create these androids or whatever you want to call them, robots with, if they're sentient, treat them as equals. Even though they technically won't be our equals within, a year because they're going to surpass us. That's the biggest fear that I have is, we've kind of talked about this before, and you were talking about, what if we build one to go explore space? Well, would that take us with us?
Yeah. It would, at that point, it would have its own decision to basically, hey, these guys are assholes. I don't want them going with my planet. All they do is fight and
destroy stuff.
And
cancel culture, everything. I don't want to have another planet of cancel culture.
Yeah. It just gets ridiculous. Yeah. All they want to do is get in like little tribes and everything and not build anything.
Yeah. But
and that also stands up to creativity.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's several possibilities of a bright future or not. I mean, to me, it's a coin toss. And one thing that really scares me is like China's bragging about they're going to have at least AGI, I think, by 1930 or. Whoa! They went back in time. They're going to time travel and really screw us up. 2030, they're bragging about they'll have it by 2030. And if a country that doesn't hold the values that America holds, or technically,
the values of because even right now, as China as a whole, I mean, it's going to be able to. Right now, we're able to 3D print organs and replace them. But what's to say you get in an organization like China, and a lot of people are probably going to say, "Oh, he's just a
Warmonger or something.
warmonger and anti-China." It's like, no, they actually put Muslims in camps and use them as organ donors.
Yeah. Do you
or
know,
slave labor.
you know how China ended their coke pandemic back in the 70s and 80s?
Mm-mm.
They lined them up and shot them.
Well, that's one way to do it.
Yeah, that's one way to get rid of them. Their drug problem, that's how they solved their drug problem back then. Well, I might be wrong, but I've seen it somewhere. Might be propaganda bullshit. But the point is any foreign country that doesn't hold our values, doesn't consider us allies, they create an AI. The AI figures out how to wipe us out within seconds. Bam.
Yeah.
The same thing is, like, say, all these different companies, even American-based ones, like, say, Google comes out with...
well, we still have Japan, and they're making Gundams, so we might not have to worry about China.
Yeah,
they
true.
don't like China.
They don't like China at all.
No.
But even, like, talking about American companies, whoever produces the AI first that becomes that great is... It thinks so fast and it's able to compute so fast. What is it going to do to our economy? Because now you're going to have this powerhouse like Google, which is already a powerhouse, creates they have it's called like Deep Thought or Deep Mind or whatever. They're a subsidiary of Google that's literally just working on AI.
Yeah.
And say they create it, now Google has power of this supercomputer AI type thing. And the way it would be able to do microtransactions and everything, it would just destroy the economy, they say.
Yeah.
Google would pretty much put everything else
Well,
out
a
of
lot
business.
of those tech companies are trying to make their own money now.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Is once you produce something that can think and correlate faster than a human being, figure out how to work the economy better than a human being, and how to produce things better than a human being, which also brings up another one. This guy has a thought experiment about how AI could be apocalyptic. Is you create an AI, you give it one goal, and it gets really good at that goal. And let's say the goal, like he said, was paperclips, to produce paperclips. Well, it continues on making these paperclips, going on and on and on, figuring out better ways to make them, faster ways to make them, how to make more and more and more. And then it starts realizing, wait a second, if these humans turn me off, I can't create paperclips anymore. So I need to get rid of them. And they also contain elements that can go inside my paperclips. Because we have trace metals in us and everything else.
Kind of the Soylent Green.
Yeah.
Type.
Kind of like Matrix, turning us into batteries, but instead would be paperclips.
Yeah.
And that's a very valid
That'd be a weird way to go out.
Yeah, I mean...
But what started all this? We had a robot that made paperclips and decided to use humans to make paperclips.
Yeah.
I mean, what?
Yeah, exactly.
That's 2020 all over.
That's like, you watch these multiverse shows where they talk about, this is the planet where, like, Germany, World War II, and all this other stuff. I went to a planet where there was an AI that was creating nothing but paperclips. And it used all the human population. and I was running for my life the entire time I was there because it was trying to turn me into paperclips.
What universe did you just come back from? The guy's just like, paperclip universe? Paperclip universe?
And everybody that goes different, oh God, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you can never know. They're trying to create an AI right now that's interesting, that, talking about the space travel one, they're actually trying to create one, how astronomers look at the different, we take all these pictures of the Hubble and everything else, but it takes so long to go through all the information. Well, they're trying to create an AI where it can sift through there and find life faster than we can.
Yeah.
Because they'd be able to sift through all the information quickly. And
well, the other thing they're trying to do is quantum computing.
Yeah, on the quantum level, and that just kind of goes.
The one interesting thing that they said they were supposed to be recent, I think it was supposed to happen in like 2013 or 2015, was biological chips.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was run off of like DNA, because our DNA, of all of our DNA, we can go from the sun to Pluto with a body's DNA.
Really?
Yeah.
Another strange fact I remember as a kid is you take all the blood vessels and put them end to end. They go around the planet like 2.5 times or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, there's a lot of weird stuff with our bodies that we could actually do.
Make paper clips.
Paper clips.
Yes.
The iron in our bodies.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
If viable cybernetics becomes a thing, would you?
I don't know. It's the one hand is seeing it as being the $6 million man. Then, I mean, right now we're the fastest computers. Our brain is, depending on how intelligent your brain is. If it gave me superpowers, yes.
I knew if it gave us superpowers.
Yeah, but
I would love cybernetic eyes.
Well, they have cybernetic eyes. They've
No, I mean like really cool cybernetic eyes, to where I can like look at something and tell you the measurement of it down to the thousandths of an inch.
That was another thing they have set up now for firefighters is they have like the face mask when they go, because firefighters until recently, when they go into a smoke-filled building, the only thing they have to go on is their field, because they can't see or anything. So what they would end up doing is they made this kind of a temperature sensor and everything. Basically, way it looks like Tron, just old, like something from the old, where all you see is like an outline of green, and you can actually see in the through the smoke and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
That was just recently. I don't know why no one's thought about that beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still in its prototype stage, but it's one of those things. It's like, why haven't we done anything like that? Of course, we didn't start out with like bunker busters until like during the Afghan War, and we should have had those like during Vietnam War.
Well, hell, we should have probably came up with those during World War II.
Yeah.
I mean, with all the bunkers that we had to deal with.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, they were trying to make a guided missile with pigeons. So.
Yeah. Still.
Or a guided bomb, my bad.
Guided bombs with pigeons.
That is crazy. I mean,
well, it's still into the development stage to where you're using biological with mechanical. And to flip the TV on with just your thoughts, it might come to that. And we're a worry warped society, to where once you get it to the point to where, one side's going to think it's great. I mean, look at 5G. There's people out there right now that believe 5G is killing people.
They believe the coronavirus can go to that son of a bitch at some point.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's dealing with this. It's look at this, the information on just social medias now.
Honestly, I'm sorry to cut you off, but what you were just saying, they need to do away with social media. They need to make it all illegal. And I know that's kind of ironic because we're doing a YouTube channel.
Yeah, we're doing a YouTube channel.
But they need to do away with it, because have you realized how stupid our population has become?
No, it's not. Okay, it's not how stupid our population has become. It's the realization of how stupid our population is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because there's a lot of people that keep their stuff behind them, keeps them close to the chest. But you also have other people that want to voice their opinion, and they have no right to voice their opinion because they're not that intelligent to begin with.
I guess
and
it's
you have a lot of those stupid people getting together in one room. What are you going to have? You're going to have a whole group of people that are mob mentality. That's the reason why I keep on saying, it's like, you can have information, but certain people need to be cut off from that information, because they're not smart enough to have it. And it might sound horrible to actually come from that, but in all reality, there's certain people that can't handle that much information.
Yeah.
Because either A, they don't rationalize, they don't think to themselves, hey, maybe I should use a little bit of common sense with this information. There was a photo of a woman that apparently took meth, drove around in a golf cart in a Walmart, and we in Wichita Falls, we had that happen to us. It was a black lady. She was in a golf cart, and she was sucking wine through a Pringles can.
Yeah.
And
I don't see anything wrong with that.
And
I don't.
Florida. No, I don't. I honestly don't.
She was just having a good time at Walmart.
I know, right? It's one of those gray areas. I'm like, just get her off the damn cart.
Yeah.
But the photo shows a woman on the bottom part of this whole listing is like, oh, she was doing meth, she was doing this. And I know people that do meth and they don't look that hot.
Yeah.
And I saw the board, it said Atlanta, Georgia. So I was like, well, that's interesting. So I did research. It was a totally different
case and everything.
Well, the case was in Florida, but different picture and different person.
Yeah, different person. What you don't realize though is that Atlanta, Georgia, is actually a city in Florida. I'm full of shit right now. But
well, I've actually messed with people.
The level of English.
When I was working in a call center, there was like, I would have to ask them, it's like, hey, where are you from? Dallas. Is that Georgia or Texas? Because there's a Dallas, Georgia.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a Dallas in Georgia, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's like there's a Paris, Texas. I mean,
yeah.
Everybody copies.
Mars.
Is there Mars?
There's Mars, Texas.
Mars, Texas?
Yeah.
See, I told you we can make it to Mars within.
Yeah, we can make it to Mars
within this lifetime.
Yeah.
Look at me. We made it to Mars.
Made it to Mars.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's really sad that after everything with the AIs are going to happen, we're going to be dancing on freaking poles to robots pretty soon just to make an extra buck.
Pretty much.
I wonder if they're going to find us sexy.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe.
Well, not us, because by that time we're gonna be like in wheelchairs.
Yeah, or dead. Well, even at our age, they'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Now, if they came out with it 20 years ago, they would have been like, ooh.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Ooh, maybe. You're a high maybe on my books.
Yes. You're if I get drunk enough.
Now it's just like, I'm drunk enough, but I have that sensibility in the back of my mind that I don't want to do anything.
I'm so drunk I can't function anymore. That's why.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, baby, we're about to get... Oh, she's knocked out. We're at that stage. The only way we can get women is if they're actually at that stage about almost... We'd have to, like, judge... We have to do, like, scientific studies. We have to have an AI that tell us where that woman is drunk enough to where we can take that woman home and she doesn't pass out, and we can still get consent.
Have you ever heard of, hey, does this rag smell like chloroform?
Yeah.
Is that wrong?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
No. Date rape isn't wrong.
I'm so canceled.
Yeah, I know. But, no.
Got new mics at least.
We're gonna make an app to tell us how drunk a woman is to take us home.
Be like, not drunk enough. Not drunk enough. Too drunk. Just the right. Okay, babe. How you doing?
And that woman is like huddled over like the bar and like.
And then she has an app.
She's right for you. God damn. And she points her app on you. And she's like, no.
No.
Damn it.
They need to make a consent app. I wonder if they have one of those.
But we can close it off on that.
If you want to.
If we want to make that app.
Yes.
Make an app. Make it trunk.
Consent app.
Well, they might have a consent app.
You have my consent. Anyway, let's close this.
Yeah. Check us out on Facebook. Probably going to view this on YouTube, but we're on Spotify. I put our stuff on Spotify so we can listen to it. So you don't have to watch us face to face. Don't have to see our ugly faces. No big deal. We understand. We look ourselves in the mirror. If you want to comment below, or please give us a like and subscribe after you watch the videos. And hopefully you can keep up with us on What the Hell. My name is David Dickerman.
My name is Kai King.
And hopefully you guys still stay frosty.
Don't cancel us.
I know, right?